Alright, way to go. Got this thing basically ready to be assembled again. My Pandora station is failing epically. But the system right now, we don't really exactly know what's going to happen with it. Hopefully it'll be alright. You can see here I've applied thermal paste. This is the thermal paste that I used. It appears to be called Dynex. It's kind of a syringe. I spread it around with a razor blade. That seemed to do the trick. Basically, you want to get it spread around probably 85-90% of the surface area, and then make sure that it's not really tall in terms of how much is piled on there. So give it really just a drip, and then after that probably just spread it around and make sure that it's sitting on there nice and thin. And at that point you can leave this and that basically without any thermal paste on them at all. You just got your whatever brand thermal paste you're using, and you've got that applied really conservatively and spread very thin over the CPU and the GPU dies, and that should probably suffice. Now what I'm going to do next is just reaffix the two heat sinks back onto the system and get the X clamps on, and basically just close up the box entirely. One thing you want to be careful for is that you have the black screws in, because the Xbox will sense those, so you just want to make sure that when you close it up you have all those on. But that's really what you're going for, just kind of a nice even distribution. Got a little better lighting here now. This is a light that we use to keep our lizard warm. Thought it would be nice and bright. Seems to be doing the trick. Can't do much about the iPhone resolution, but that's yeah, Pandora station could be better. But that's what you're dealing with right there. I mean, that should be your end result before you put the thing together. Something like that, you know, it could be cleaner. Probably could be a little sloppier though. Well, I don't know. I slopped it up pretty good. I'd try to go for cleaner than that. That's probably a nice, barely acceptable job. So get that done, and then reattach everything and plug it in, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you don't need a hard drive to play games in the thing. So just throw the audio visual and the power cable on, and make sure your TV's on the right input, and whatever monitor you're using is on the right input. And if you don't see things happen when you connect it all, if you're still getting red rings of death, I would suggest maybe trying some other solutions. The first one involves modifying some of the kind of pseudo heat sinks that are used on the rear of the motherboard. In place of these 4 cheap heat sinks, you just take 2 pennies each. You can attach them with that stuff, the thermal paste, but you basically take 2 pennies, cover each of them in electrical tape. Maybe try and keep the covering thin, but make sure that there's no gaps and it's well covered. So like a wrap and a half around each side, maybe 2 wraps around each side. And then thermal paste over the electrical tape to affix to those 4 things that we looked at there, just on the underside of the motherboard. And that would be your next best bet as far as getting this thing to not overheat. The copper and pennies is fairly conductive, so that should be a fairly good lesson for you as far as how to get these things working. I mean, the best thing that you can do once you get this stuff assembled. Okay, the shins, that's cool. Thanks, Pandora. Something good. I like this one. I would recommend maybe maybe one towel trick. I mean, don't sit there using the towel trick without having done this, because if you're gonna overheat your system, the heat gun's probably better than the towel trick. You know, to be honest with you, if you're going to introduce heat into the system, it's better that you do it while it's not plugged in. So I feel like the towel trick is kind of cheating, and it also probably has a lower probability of actually fixing the problem as opposed to creating another problem. So if you have like a heat gun, or if you can get access to a heat gun that you can use to just kind of spray over the surface here, that's been reported to work fairly well. I don't have any experience with that personally as of yet, but it's probably what I'll do if this thing decides not to work. So, alright, hope things are working out for you with your own Xbox, and you know, obviously I want to try to fix these things for you guys if you need them fixed and you don't feel confident in doing this part of the process. I'm charging $70 right now. If I fix it, you know, $70. If I can't fix it, I'll just give it back to you. Obviously, if you live somewhere else, like, I'm not going to cover the shipping on that, so sorry. But if you're local and you want me to give it a shot, I'll give it a good college try, and you know, if I can't make it work, it won't cost you anything. I might want to buy it from you for like $20 to $70 or so, depending on whether or not you got a hard drive and how big it is and all that kind of stuff. Because I might want to try to scrap it for parts if I determine that the motherboard is shot. So it's a lot more commonly the case that the motherboard is shot in these things, as I understand it, because the GPU and CPU are just built right into the motherboard. So if either of those fail, your motherboard's kind of crapped out. So anyhow, that's a little bit to get started with, and hopefully I'll have some other videos. Maybe I'll do a video on that whole penny trick. Seems like there's a few of those online already. So I hope that you can find a solution, and you know, we're always welcoming questions and comments and all that kind of stuff. So very good. Enjoy. Good luck.